Most people fail to stay consistent with their training, which is why most people don't become all that good. Trust me, if you're struggling with consistency, you're not the only one. If you actually work on some things that I'll show you in this video, you'll have no problem with this in the future. So first, let's go over the things that you actually need to stay consistent. And the first thing is a body that you can train with. And that also means no injuries. So if you're getting injured every 2 weeks, that's an issue. Now, the single thing that's actually getting you to start training is your brain. So, in order to do this consistently, you need a certain level of mental health. What you also need is room in your life. Now, what does that mean? The first thing is physical space to train, to move. And since many people train actually at home, if your room is cluttered and everything is full of stuff, yeah, I'm talking to you. That's an issue. Your brain doesn't like it. It feels chaotic and you don't really want to train. It feels like stress, like a chore. And the second part is actually having enough time to train. So if you're working until late and afterwards you're super done and you have to meet up with some friends. I don't know what you need to do in your life, but if you don't have enough time, sacrifice some of that other stuff you're doing. Ask yourself, what am I currently doing that's not really that productive or helpful for my life? What you also should have is a certain drive or motivation. Many people say motivation is useless, but it's not. It makes training a lot easier. A major cause why people don't have any drive to move, to train, is because they have a shitty diet. If you're frequently eating junk food or sweets, try cutting some of that back and see how you feel. What also kills motivation is if you haven't made progress in the last 3 sessions or something. I get pretty unmotivated at that point. But actually find out what motivates you and work on those things. Also, discipline is pretty good too, because you can't always rely on being super motivated. That's just not how it works. Sometimes you're just not feeling it. And that's okay, that's normal, that's pretty much everyone sometimes. So the actual simple fix for this problem is to make it as easy as possible to train. That means creating as much room in your life for training as possible. Clean your room or your apartment or wherever you live. It's gonna make a big difference. And I used to think this doesn't matter at all, like most people, until I kept track of my thoughts and well-being in different environments. When an environment is chaotic, so are my thoughts. And that's pretty bad if you're trying to build a habit and do some difficult shit. Especially if you actually train at home, this is terrible, because it will be much harder to commit to starting your training, trust me. Okay, increasing your mental health. This is easier than you think. Meditation does wonders for mental health. And it's so easy to do. Just set a timer of 5-10 minutes and just become conscious of your thoughts and try to focus on your breathing. That's literally all you have to do for a couple minutes. And you feel so much better for the rest of the day. And you just have more clarity. And if you have more clarity, you can plan your day out better and you're like, okay, yeah, at 17 o'clock, yeah, that's when I want to train. And then you'll actually do it. Also, what I recommend is setting doable goals for the week. If you can just tick off some of those, it will elevate your self-esteem, your confidence, and your opinion about yourself, which is a big win. Also, eliminate toxic habits. That's pretty helpful. If you're drinking too much alcohol, you take drugs, I don't know what you do, but you probably know if you're fucking up. I will make a full video on that in the future because it's that important, even for calisthenics. Most people don't connect these two. Also, stop being on your phone as much. I know this is not beneficial for me because you're probably gonna watch less of my videos. The world is full of distractions, especially if you got a phone in your pocket and there's unlimited content. Even if you think you're doing something good by watching calisthenics videos, which you are, but if you watch too much, then that's a problem. All of a sudden it's evening and you still have to do work or homework and you missed your training. You need to spend a decent amount of time just with your own thoughts. I know your mind might be toxic as hell to you right now, and you might be really hard on yourself, and that's tough. Endure and ask yourself the right questions. That way you can steer your mind into the direction you want to go. Instead of asking yourself, oh, why did I miss this fucking training again? Shit, why am I such an idiot? Stop yourself and ask yourself instead, how can I improve my life? And in that case, if you ask yourself that all the time, training will probably come up and then you can plan it and do it. But if you haven't noticed already, if you ask yourself a question, your mind is at least somewhat capable of answering it. So you might as well ask yourself the right questions. Also, depending on your lifestyle choices, genetics and your diet and many more factors actually, your body might want to move less or more. If your body wants to move more, it's gonna be much easier to stay consistent with your training, obviously. But what's even better than all of this? Make sure that you actually look forward to training. And good news, this is typically what happens after you leveled up a little bit. You sort of start thinking about training in your free time and you start to look forward to it. And that's great, that's the best thing that can happen. It's almost like an addiction, but it's actually a positive one. It's like breathing air. That's a positive addiction, or food. And that's pretty much how you do it. You go from being in a lot of pain from your training and the training being super hard to commit to looking forward to it all day and then having fun with it. Calisthenics is really fun, especially when you're good at it. And things will become easier eventually. Trust me, just keep pushing. Also, if you're thinking about training and you need to do it, but you don't really feel like it, you don't really want to go, put yourself a good song on and do a bit of warm-up. Most of the time, you're just gonna do the whole training. What also needs to be said is that the circle of people you surround yourself with is pretty important. If you're surrounded by people who love calisthenics and train it all the time, you're so much more likely to do it as well. So if you can, find some people who do calisthenics on a regular basis and that you can train with. That's gonna help a lot. And you don't need to do everything I show you in this video. You might just find yourself just working on one of these and after a couple of days you have your consistency unlocked. If you have any questions, I will be answering you in the comments. The fact that you're still watching this probably means that I've provided some kind of value to you in this video, so right now is a good time to press the like button. Alright, wish you guys good luck out there, you can do this.